Hey, we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaze Barnes. What up? What up? What up? Yeah. Hope everybody's having a great, wonderful Wednesday evening, heading into Friday Eve, Thursday, payday for some, most of us next week. Yeah. With all that said, again, greetings and blessings to all. If it's your first time being here, salute to you all. If it's your second or third or fourth, fifth time being here as well, I appreciate you all as well. Again, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. Again, I drop content pretty much every day. My recording time is 5 days a week, but I still drop content 5 days a week. So it's every other day. So by the time y'all watching this, most of y'all watching this will be tomorrow morning. By the time you all saying this. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get right into it. I don't want to ramble on too long here. All right. So we got to get into a couple things in here tonight. We got to talk about Apple. Apple has unveiled a 250,000 square feet Houston factory. All right. So we're going to talk about it from the supply chain standpoint. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about it from the security standpoint. I'm just going to give my overall commentary on it as well. And we're going to talk about a deadly Hollywood recording studio shooting. We're going to talk about that as well, right? We also got to talk about the Idaho, one of the heroes from Idaho shooter, the situation that happened in the In-N-Out Burger early this month. One of the shooters, I'm not shooters, I'm sorry, the heroes, was honored in the Twin Cities, in the Twin Falls shooting as well. Jordan Salinas. And then we also got to get into Stephen A. Smith refusal to back down. Stephen A. Smith has been under fire with this journalist. I think it's Black Journalist Conference. They gave him the thumbs down award. I've been reading a little bit about it, hearing a little bit about it. So we're going to talk about that from a standpoint. That video is actually a little bit longer. So it's going to come towards the last. It's going to come towards the end. And it's like an 8.5 minute video. So I'll play a little bit and jump in, chime in. So it don't really feel like I'm just playing the whole video, and y'all can get a little bit of my commentary, get a little bit of both. So with all those things, again, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. And we're going to jump right into it, to this first story of Apple.
Apple is expanding its Houston footprint, opening a new advanced manufacturing center at its facility in North Harris County. Outgoing CEO Tim Cook was here for the grand opening and spoke about Apple's investment in American manufacturing and his legacy. CBS's Joe Ling Kent has this exclusive.
We are proud to put our money where our mouth is.
In his final weeks as Apple CEO, Tim Cook has placed a Texas-sized bet on Houston.
Nice to meet you.
Alongside Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Cook toured this construction zone set to produce Mac Mini computers come December. Cook spoke to us exclusively.
Lots of different manufacturing is here. In fact, it's 450,000 jobs total in the United States.
Apple's chief operating officer, Sabi Khan, took us inside.
Would Apple have made the $600 billion investment had it not been for tariffs and pressure by the Trump administration?
Our supply chain is very global. And in this world, you need supply chain resiliency. So for us to diversify and have a global supply chain is really beneficial for the long term.
As Apple has invested billions, it's simultaneously raised prices on several products.
There's a component memory that is rising at an unprecedented rate in a very short amount of time. And we're not immune to that. And we're working with our supply chain to find a way out of this.
Apple is also creating a new talent pipeline, training entrepreneurs and students for free, as Trump's trade policies remain turbulent.
What's your message to American businesses who feel destabilized by tariff policies?
The Trump administration has been very clear. Build it here, hire American workers here, and you pay no tariff.
Apple's big bet comes as Cook prepares to step down as CEO.
As you look back on your time as CEO, in a word, what have you stood for?
You're asking me a legacy question, and it's a good question. But in my view, your legacy is described by others, not yourself. And so I hope that people say I was a good and decent man. And if they say that at the end of the day, I feel like I have achieved something.
Cook will become executive chairman of Apple come September 1st. And he tells me in our interview that Apple will remain his primary focus. This is the company faces big challenges coming up, including how it will compete in AI and how much more you might pay for your next iPhone. Jolene Kent, CBS News, Houston.
My first thought about this, because I heard Tim Cook is a great CEO. You don't really, he's really about the company. He's really about the business, about the brand. His political, personal views are like out of it, keeps it out of it and whatnot. So that's what that's what I kind of look for in the CEO. I mean, he's more visible than others, and that might shake up a couple shareholders. But my thoughts are, with everything in respects to what the Trump administration has been doing, I know that might be toxic, but it takes a while to stand up manufacturing. But a lot of our jobs were leaving, right? Manufacturing, because we can't keep outsourcing jobs and with bad policy. So previous administrations just kicking the can down the road until Trump said, hey, no. And with this kind of stuff, and again, there's going to be some mashing of the teeth, but I think eventually, yeah, we all have to, everyone is going to pay. It's going to be a price hike. It's going to be, because it always is, right? But be better off to get it here than trying to get it from somewhere else across the world or whatnot. I'm not saying these people don't have offices and manufacturing places around the world, but it's time to bring most of the manufacturing jobs back here, and to boost and help our economy and national security and stuff like that. That's just my little spiel. But this is big because like Samsung, I did a story. Samsung is actually moving their headquarters from New Jersey to, I think it's Plano, Texas. They're moving the headquarters, I think, at the end of this year as well. They got a building already there, and they're going to move their headquarters from there. And Texas is it's tax friendly to corporate as far as companies. So there's a lot of companies there, right? You got SpaceX, so Texas is becoming a new spot, a place to set up shop. Be on the lookout for that. So it's an exciting time. You got to think how many jobs it's going to bring on. That's going to bring in a huge amount of substantial amount of jobs and opportunity. Like they said, they're training young entrepreneurs for free to ultimately get on with the company. So yeah, I think this is good. It's just, again, my quick, just off the surface, but we can talk about it from I guess my thing is from a supply chain standpoint. What are the tax incentives or infrastructure subsidies were granted by local authorities to secure the Houston server facility? Let's take a look. Let's ask. But I think it's good. This is going to be some pain points, of course, hiring and I'm sorry. So I got some news here, something recently of July 24th. So I have here, oh, my bad. Just a little bit on my screen here. So the Texas lawmakers, are saying because of data centers and stuff like that. So that's also been a big concern, a big thing lately. So it says after years of courting data centers investment in Texas, state leaders are confronting a new question: who should pay for the enormous amount of infrastructure needed to power them? Texas lawmakers are set to examine whether billions of dollars in tax incentives for data centers still provide enough benefit to justify their growing costs. So the question is, it says, what tax incentives or infrastructure subsidies were granted by local authorities? This article I'm reading is back in July 24th. It's asking Greg Abbott so here's the actions. It says Texas created a data center sales tax exemption to attract technology investment, including data centers that support cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Under the law, Texas exempt qualifying data centers from paying sales tax on many of the items used to build and operate facilities, including servers and cooling equipment, backup generators, networking equipment, and electricity, provided the projects meet the state requirement. Separate incentives created in 2015. So a lot of this was decades, almost like 13, 14 years ago, or 11 years ago in some cases. A separate incentive created in 2015 established more generous requirements for large data centers. The Texas Comptroller estimates the value combined exemptions will exceed $1 billion fiscal year 2025, grow about 1.75 billion annually by 2030. In 2020, it said the Texas comptroller estimated data centers exemptions would cost the state about 29 million in fiscal year 2025. 5 years later, the agency estimated, okay, yeah. So I know that's like the boring numbers and stuff like that, but the numbers to the people, it matters. So what do I think of this? And I think my second question is from a security standpoint. Let me put, okay, from a security standpoint, what physical and cybersecurity compliance checks are required to handle domestic AI servers on site? Let's see. So I know it didn't cover it in this article, but we'll do a quick little Google search here. I'm sorry if I'm boring you all. Got to get the information out to people. All right. I'm going to say, in summary, an on-site AI server manufacturing requires layer approach, robust physical access control, strict identity and access governance, and continuous monitoring and compliance with any state relative federal AI laws. But I heard a lot about it. So I think this is a good thing. I'm not saying that it won't be without any pushback, but it's already going forward. It's already taking place. We in August, so they plan to have this building operational, fully operational occupancy by December, right? And probably fully really staffed in 20. I would say maybe the building may be ready by December, and I think people start trickling in there by Q1 of 2027. So from the political economic standpoint, we also heard about we've heard from U.S. Secretary Howard Lutnick and other officials underscoring the administration's push to bring advanced manufacturing back to America. Houston Mayor John Whitmire praised the investment for boosting local jobs and quality of life. The strategic significance here for Houston, for this Houston facility, the first U.S. site, this will be the first U.S. site to produce Mac Minis. So anybody who's like any Apple, any of my peoples out there, any viewers or future viewers or subscribers, because I know we all have our different ecosystems. We have Apple, we have Samsung, we have HP, and so on and so forth, right? So this will be the first U.S. site that produced Mac Minis. Also, a key part of Apple's strategy to reshore AI and advanced manufacturing amidst U.S. trade policy pressures. So it's better to, again, because right now the terror war is not dying down. So you'll be better to do it here than trying to go outsource it somewhere else, because it's going to cost you way more long term to try to build it out of the country. And I know listen, I'm not the sharpest at this, but it doesn't mean I'm not trying to understand this, but it just means even if we got to pay higher costs, I'd rather pay higher costs to get it made here than trying to fight the pay even higher costs to get it from overseas, to go through all the processes to get it over here. They're cheaply making our parts and we're getting charged. We already getting charged, but we're going to get charged way more for cheaper parts. Y'all how this stuff work. Not the but I mean, also integrated with Apple's broader $500 billion U.S. investment plan, which includes AI infrastructure, silicone engineering, and supply partners. In short, Apple's Houston AMC is both a production hub for flagship products and a training center for American manufacturing talent, reflecting the company's commitment to reshoring high-tech manufacturing. So this is a huge deal. Shout out to Tim Cook. Let me give him a hand clap, man. This is huge. I know I'm probably... In short, I know I'm not, like I said, this is not a finance channel, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna be challenged. I'm not gonna challenge myself to cover the news and jobs, whatever is new jobs, layoffs, and economics and stuff like that. We'll cover it, because you got to audit life before life audits it for you. And I think for anybody that's in the opportunity of looking in the tech industry, look at Apple. This is a good opportunity. So anybody looking for an opportunity to move and innovate and elevate, this is one of the opportunities to look at. I'll take a gander at it. Now, long term, we'll see how this goes. Usually might need about 5 years to kind of see where this be, 5, 10 years or whatnot. But kind of given that some of the other cities, you kind of see what's going on in like New York and New Jersey with them trying to go after Amazon and suing Amazon. most businesses at the end of the day, they just pull out and go somewhere else. And you can't get mad at them. You can get mad all you want, but ain't nobody gonna be trying to, you're not gonna rake us, you're not gonna rake our feet over the fire when we can just simply just move somewhere else, whatnot. So if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, shout out to this. This is actually pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Also one more, I think the last thing, the facility is expected to employ thousands of workers and create local jobs. But to also have it as like a flagship production hub for products and a training center all in one. That's so essentially this might be, I know that their headquarters are in Silicon Valley, but you might have this might be the second biggest hub in Texas. But yeah, so anybody who's interested in looking for a job and opportunity career, definitely look at this. This is good. I mean, I don't see no problem with it at all. There's always going to be some stuff going to hurt early on. When you're trying to stand up businesses up, you're trying to bring back manufacturing jobs. That's pretty much part of the pitch for the Trump administration, is bringing back manufacturing jobs, to bring back more jobs. It may take some time to stand it up. There may be some higher costs early on, but I think over time it'll level out, and we'll see. We'll see. But we're going to move on to the next story. We got to move over to this deadly shooting that happened in Hollywood, Florida, in a recording studio. Let me change this and we're going to move right to it right now.
Tonight, a man is dead and another is in the hospital after a shooting broke out over the weekend. Tonight, one man has been arrested, and we're learning more about the home where this happened. CBS News Miami's Bree Buckley is your reporter in Hollywood with the new details.
A friend of one of the victims tells me no one lives in this home and it's just used as a recording studio. He says there was a session happening when the deadly shots rang out. 25-year-old John Tavis Leroy Stevenson facing multiple charges, including first-degree felony murder, accused of shooting and killing 40-year-old Antoine Etienne. Hollywood police say it happened just after 2 a.m. Sunday at this home in the 2700 block of Arthur Street. A 23-year-old man was found shot lying in the street. He was taken to the hospital. Behind the home in a separate unit, officers found Stevenson holding a gun, cash, and cell phones. That's where Etienne was found shot. He was taken to the hospital where he died.
We were shocked to see, but something evidently went wrong, and it was brought out into the street.
The home is a recording studio and was rented out by one of the victims, according to arrest documents. The form shows Etienne worked in the studio and said, quote, "Don't kill me, I'm just the engineer."
Everything was very quiet, very kept hush-hush. You never saw what they did or where they went until last night. That was just out of the blue.
This neighbor didn't want to share her face for safety reasons, but says the home is always quiet. She thought it was an Airbnb, but has noticed luxury cars and even a limo pull up to the home. In this surveillance video, you can hear yelling right around the time of the shooting. Stevenson was arrested on scene. According to police, he's a convicted felon with gun charges just last month in Miami-Dade County.
The neighbors across could have gotten gunfire through their windows or through their walls, in their beds, sleeping. That's what's scary. Nothing has ever happened like this in this neighborhood. Nothing.
As for that man that's still in the hospital, police have not released his name, but his friend tells me he's in the ICU and is expected to be okay. Stevenson is being held at the Broward County Jail without bond. In Hollywood, Bree Buckley, CBS News, Miami.
First of all, prayers up to the individual that unfortunately lost his life in this senseless killing here. And again, prayers up for the one that's in the ICU. Hopefully that he pulls through, have a speedy recovery, and of course talk to the authorities and got to figure out what's going on. Even though they got the shooting, this is scumbag behavior right here, man. I'm going to put this video on the suspect here. His name, they said his name, John Tavius Leroy Stevens, aka Glocktavius, ladies and gentlemen, 25-year-old, already had felony, already had life. Listen, my man threw his life away a long time ago. And I've talked about this, there's so many issues that we're not addressing in the community. Okay. There's a lot more issues. We got all the external issues distracting us. Well, we need to be focused on the internal issues that is plaguing our community. We don't even know what it was all about. It's more likely to be money, could have been, drugs, whatever, right? We don't know what was going on, right? You can just look at my man's eyes. Look at his lips. I don't know what's on his lips. Look at that. The hair all matted up. He just, my man just gave up on life. I had this, I don't know what I said. I had said something today about the community. When somebody do crimes against the community, it's scumbag behavior. It's pure selfish. It's pure dumb. And we protect the worst among ourselves anyway. The lady, listen, out of fear of retaliation, sounds like a white lady. She don't even want to be on camera. It's so bad, she don't even want to be on camera. Most times, white people want brazen. They'd be like, yeah, here's the camera. Yeah, set it up here. Yeah, we witnessed this shit. Yeah, we was out walking our dog and I was coming home. We was walking the dog, whatnot, and we heard some scuffling. We heard arguing. We was like, oh, I asked my wife, Sharon, what happened? What's going on? I don't know. And then next thing we heard scrambling and everybody started to go running. We was like, what the hell's happened? Yeah, but for this lady, for the one who's speaking, and we're gonna get back to this guy because we don't want it. For her, this lady right here, this unknown individual, listen, I don't know, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. What's going on in Broward County? Because didn't that not Judy World, but Bree World, the Dream Doll chick, she got shot and killed. She was an influencer, whatnot. But my man's 25 years old, facing life. We got to sit here for a second. What? Listen, my man said, the Stevenson guy said, don't shoot me. I'm just the engineer. You shot the engineer. What did the engineer do? I don't know what it is. It's like we are like, it's like everything is up and stuck. That's why I don't want to do music. That's why I was like, man, I'm not gonna be out here, recording studio. No. I'd rather be here kicking it with y'all, creating content in the comfort of my home. I don't want to be out. No, I want to go home. I don't want to go home. Folks be drinking, smoking, bringing women over. They getting loud. They shooting dice. They doing sexual activities, whatever and all that. I'm trying to keep it clean. This ain't Friday yet. I'm trying to get these songs recorded. My man's is trying to be the engineer. He can't be the engineer. He got to, man, what is going on? What is happening here? Our men the men these days are just highly emotional, man. They need Jesus. They need guidance. You got to carry out. But I don't know, this individual right here, Gloctavius, couldn't be reached. I don't know what was said. I will play this back one more time. Let me see if I can hit, if it's anything. Let's see. Hold on.
Felony murder, accused of shooting and killing 40-year-old S1.E79. Hollywood.
S1.E79. This is not his first time doing this, because he did say, let's wind this back a little bit. Let's mind this
out. 25-year-old Jontavis Leroy Stevenson facing multiple charges, including first-degree felony murder, accused of shooting and killing 40-year-old S1.E79. Hollywood police say it happened just after 2 a.m. Sunday at this home in the 2700 block of Arthur Street. A 23-year-old man was found shot lying in the street. He was taken to the hospital. Behind the home in a separate unit, officers found Stevenson holding a gun, cash, and cell phones. That's where ATN was found shot. He was taken to the hospital where he died.
We were shocked to see, but something evidently went wrong.
Nothing ever good comes out of this. Nothing good. You got one man, he's facing murder charges, first-degree murder charges. His life gone, essentially. One man's life is gone. The 23-year-old, or the 40-year-old man life, his life is gone. And then you got a 23-year-old that's fighting for his life. We don't value life, man. We don't value life. Or the possibility of it. Like we gotta do a better job in settling disputes, or we gotta find new lines of work. Cause see, if I was working there, it'd be like, you know what? It might be time to find a new line of work there. Let me give myself a. You gotta find a new line of work. That's why people don't be up to no good in the recording studio, man. In the studio, no, man, I can't. Cause you gotta deal with this, ladies. Y'all gotta deal with Gloctavius. Already got bodies already. You gotta deal with Gloctavius. Look at that. Look at his eyes. He ain't there. He's not there. He's not here like we are here. He's not here, y'all. I don't even I don't know what because he was already on probation. He was a convicted felon. He was already a convicted felon. Listen, from a background check, let's ask this question. It's the only question listen. From what probation tracking protocol failed to prevent a convicted felon from possessing a firearm at a venue? They got to be tougher on probation. When people are on probation, they used to be tough. It used to be tough. You couldn't sneeze without walking into a probation officer. You couldn't pee without walking into a probation officer. You couldn't even take a sugar honey iced tea without running to a probation officer. You couldn't call, listen, where's your probation officer? All that. You couldn't even get a job you couldn't even do a job interview without checking in with your probation officer. You couldn't even look for, you gotta literally. Is the probation officer, is they in on it? I don't know, they're not in on this. I'm just saying, this is insane. This is insane. People, Black lives lost. There ain't gonna be no protesting, ain't gonna be no marches. If it's like, I'm going, whenever I can, listen, as long as I do this show, I'm going to highlight the things that go on in the community, and I'm going to give my opinion about it, good or bad. Okay? Because he was a convicted felon, and somebody was still protecting him, and he was supposedly supposed to be he was, even as a convicted felon, he did not want to be a proper functioning member of society. He did not want to be a functioning member of society. It's like, why do we keep giving people chances? Listen, no, there's a high probability they are going to reoffend. Okay, there's a high chance. There are some convicted felons that are turning around. Most of them, what I've seen so far, been doing this show, most of them just reoffend. I don't know. Felonies are scared me. Listen, I don't want no felonies. I don't want the word felony. I don't want the word life. I don't even want to be detained for 6 hours. Anybody who's in the music, man, listen, y'all have to find a new line of work. Go find a new line of work. Listen, this ain't it. Can't be dying over no damn in the recording studio over some whatever the damn argument was. This is about, I did a story here a couple months ago where a guy was trying to get out the rap business or whatever and all that, and the argument ensued, and they shot the dude. It was here in Atlanta, and they still ain't found the killers. Thankfully, they got him real quick because he would have been on the run. Insane. The probation system failed. The law enforcement tracking system, everybody just failed. They failed. And he gave up on life. And I'm not saying he probably had, could say with the right influence, with the right people, maybe, but he had in his mind, he was to influence his culture. He's stuck up on the culture, the influence around him. And I don't want to give up on my young people. I don't. But man, like, we gotta get mad and pissed off enough for ourselves to fix it. Yeah, man. Shame. That's all I got on this one. That's what I got. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this story. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. All right, we got to move on to the next story. We got to talk about the Idaho, one of the Idaho In-N-Out burger heroes, Jordan. I want to make sure I'm saying it. I think it's Salinas, not Salinas. I know y'all probably say, Chaze, you can't say that. Listen, I want to say Solace. I want to say it's Solace. But anyway, we're going to get right to my brother over here. The guy that looked like he should be in some kind of military movie. And just for context, he had weapons training and stuff like that. Apparently there was a mall shooting that happened there back in 2021. And since then, he didn't ever want to be like caught up in a situation where he couldn't be able to react. There you go. So I'm gonna turn to him now.
Tonight, this video shows a man who police call a hero intervening in the Twin Falls mass shooting. His name is Jordan Salinas, and he was honored for his actions tonight. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us at 10 o'clock. I'm John Webb. Salinas received an award from a company in Eagle for his courageous actions. KTV's Terrence Holton was there this evening. And Terrence, you spoke with Salinas. What was going through his head during the shooting?
John, during the moments right before Salinas took action, he says he cleared his head and knew he had to do something since the situation was what he had trained for. After the Boise Town Square Mall shooting in 2021, Salinas decided to get trained in case he was ever in the area of a mass shooting. On August 1st at the Twin Falls In-N-Out Burger, that training was put to use.
There was a lot of people at that intersection, and there was 2 or 3 minutes before officers arrived. Someone had to do something.
Salinas spent the last few years both physically and mentally conditioning himself. Because while knowing the fundamentals of how to handle a gun is incredibly important, it's not the only factor.
The other element to that is being able to respond and react and maintain composure and those fundamentals under stress.
Salinas is now being hailed as a hero. Today, he was honored with a .25 caliber silver bullet from Money Metals. But for Salinas, it's the people who stop him on the street that stand out.
I've hugged a few people that you can tell that they had some kind of connection. Whether it was directly or indirectly, they knew somebody that was there, and you feel that tension just dissipate as you hug them.
In the weeks since the shooting, Salinas says people have tried to pay for his groceries and burgers and snap pictures of him while he's at stoplights. But he says he doesn't care about the attention.
Pretty normal guy, nothing too crazy. I'm a guy with hobbies. Embrace those hobbies.
And it's one of those hobbies that inspired Salinas to start carrying the gun he used on August 1st. The gun was the same model as one from the video game Splinter Cell, which he started playing in high school. Still, his message about why he intervened during a mass shooting stays the same. And he's hoping other people will follow his lead.
If you can help other people, then I don't think there's anything greater that you can do with your time here.
Salinas also recommended that everyone should carry a first aid kit. So if you see any sort of injury or car accident, you can help until EMTs arrive on scene. John?
And we're also thinking about the victims this evening as well. All right, Terrence Holton live in studio. Terrence.
Man, yeah, he's right. I got to do the same thing. And I remember the game Splinter Cell, like Sam Fisher. The last Splinter Cell I played was Blacklist. That was okay. It was right around Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out. It was around the same time. The same gun as Sam Fisher uses. Oh man, see, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me give Jordan a hand clap here. Let me give him a hero's hand clap here. As I said, did I tell you? Was I right? He can play, this guy looks like he can play in a Ridley Scott movie. Ain't this let me look up this right quick. I think this comes some movie called, what's this? War Dogs or something? Let me see. I gotta see that movie. I know it's based off a book. Was it a Star? Y'all might say, Chaz. No, it's Star Dogs. I think is it Star Dogs? Star Dogs, I think this movie they got Ridley Scott. Man, yeah, I'm saying, yeah, my man's definitely he can definitely. I would like to have him as my neighbor. Heck yeah, man. Hey, he listen, free beer. He get free beers, free everything. He was like, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? Right place at the right time. Kind of reminds you of Keanu Reeves. Kind of like Keanu Reeves is just a regular guy, just do awesome things. Just I put my pants leg on one leg at a time. Yeah. Oh, it's pretty heroic. It's pretty heroic for him to have the training, have the background, and have the wherewithal to do so, to step in, to intervene and step into action is short of remarkable. Is courageous. Enough things can be said. All of the superlatives you think of. You know, because all of us, I think there's a Jordan in all of us. Not Michael Jordan, but I think there's some of us that thinking like, if we all, I don't say we all, but there might be that first responder mentality in us to run into action and try to, save the day. And like I said before, there's no greater gift than putting down one's life. That I think it's in the book of John. There's no greater gift than laying down one life for his friends. I ain't got that bad. Listen, my man, we need more of him. We need more people like him in this world. And I'm glad he's on our side. Yeah, this is I can talk on and on about it. I can think just again, because I said it when I did the first video of this, I was like, yeah, I think that's a good idea to do some firearms training, like CPR training. I don't think it's something that will hurt. I think it'll be something beneficial. I think that's a hidden talent. So think of it like this. All right, break it to you like this. Let's say you're on a date, fellas, you know what I'm saying? Or ladies, whatnot. And you say, oh my, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty sexy if a woman knows how to use a firearm. You know what I mean? Knows the way around a firearm. And not that, really sure they know their way around pulling the trigger, whatnot. Whether they train or serve in the military, whatnot. But I think it's something to it. That's a real good hobby. Can be an expensive hobby if you're really into the guns, whatever, and all that. But I think it's a really cool bonding hobby. But I'm just saying, when you're on a date, you'd be like, yeah, so tell me something interesting about you. I do firearms training. What? Or CPR training. Yeah, I did this for the last 5 years and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a great icebreaker. That's a great icebreaker answer too. Made me think about the women on classic, some of the videos I watch on classic firearms. They know their way around the firearm. They still women, they still feminine. They just love firearms. You know what I'm saying? Just, you might say, don't piss them off. Nobody should, like I always say, don't do anything you can't. Ooh, excuse me. Don't do anything you can't come back from. No, people have more. They probably have more poise to walk away from it. The weapon is the last resort. Excuse me. I hope I ain't coming down with nothing. But yeah, man. Shout out to Jordan. All right. We're moving on to the last story of the night. Sorry, excuse me. Let me get some water. But you all let me know what you all think, what y'all sentiments are. And if you have or haven't did any firearms training, and would you recommend firearms training or first aid kits or anything like that? If you got a story to share, be sure to leave a comment down and leave a note in the comment section. Excuse me, I'm sorry. In the comment section. All right. So we got to talk about Stephen A. Smith. And like I said, this is an 8-minute video, but 8.5-minute video. But I will stop it at various points. So maybe I may let it play for 2 minutes and stop and talk. But I will do it in a way where it doesn't really take away the essence of it, if that makes sense.
Stephen A. Smith never one to hold back his opinions, and lately he's been weighing in on pretty much everything. The ESPN star recently said that Florida Congressman, for example, Byron Donalds, could actually make him a Republican. He's succeeded where I have failed miserably. I've been trying for years. Then there is the drama of the WNBA, where Stephen A. is accusing conservatives of politicizing that controversy, but argued the WNBA did it to themselves by failing to establish clear guidelines. Oh, like defining what is a woman. Basic stuff. Now, Stephen A. has taken on the National Association of Black Journalists after the group gave him its Thumbs Down award, accusing him of a pattern of disparaging commentary about prominent black women. Now, Stephen A. fired right back, warning the organization, you had your turn, now mine is coming. Here to give them his turn, our friend Stephen A. Smith. First of all,
So Stephen A. Smith was on vacation. So Stephen A. Smith on his show, Straight Shooter, he did address this. And a lot of things, Stephen A., again, he don't back down. He addresses a lot of it. He probably shouldn't. I know his sister, he was saying that they say he shouldn't, because he was actually getting ready to take send his daughter off to college. That was a little bit I know in the background of it. But
this frustrates me as your friend. I get more angry when my friends are attacked than if I am attacked. We have been friends for decades. You won't even let me tell people what I know you do for minority communities, will you? If I started to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. Am I right or wrong?
That is correct.
Okay. So
That's
it
correct.
frustrates me that people that don't know you are making ridiculous allegations like this. Now, doesn't this have to do specifically with your criticism of radical people on the left? And you did mention a couple of African-American women at times, Jasmine Crockett, who says nutty things, Joy Reid, who says, in my view, nutty things. Is that what this is about?
I think it is. I don't think there's any question about it. And that's why I spoke out against it, because I think it's utterly ridiculous. I was raised by 5 black women. My mother, God rest her soul, and my 4 older sisters. I have 2 daughters. I have 10 nieces. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I find it highly offensive that they would label me in this way. Give me a thumbs down award specifically for disparaging black women. I want everybody out there to know there's no such thing. That did not happen. That is a flat out lie. And that never happened. Whether it was Jasmine Crockett, whether it was Kamala Harris, whether it was Michelle Obama, I pointed to something that they said that I may have disagreed with. That is all. That is all that I.
And also, I'm sorry to stop it. I'm just insert real quick. Is because Stephen A is starting to not go along to get along, right? He's starting to kind of shake away from. And then I don't know, the clutches of our community, the plantation mindset of our community is atrocious. It's atrocious. And a lot of black women get highly emotional because he only talked about the things that they did, not the people themselves. Because Stephen A. Smith adore black women, such as myself. I know I can jump on them as well. I think black women are dope. They're phenomenal. They're awesome. But can y'all be difficult at times to deal with? Absolutely. When we try to point things out, trying to correct, y'all have a reprobated mind, y'all get rebellious, but it's like, hey, okay, I get it off with that. Cool. I just think because he is at the moment that he starts kind of like talks, call out the way we may the black women may communicate, the way they kind of come off. When he started addressing the things that they do, oh no. So let my man talk.
I have done.
Wait a minute, you said about Michelle Obama,
as well.
she could win. That's what I remember you saying about her.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, but remember what happened is that I said that I did not appreciate her saying that a vote for Donald Trump was a vote against women.
Yeah, I remember she said that.
Because I said there are a plethora of reasons why people go to a poll. Some people might prioritize the economy, immigration, safety in the streets of America, national security, etc. There are a plethora of reasons why somebody would choose to vote. To sit up there and to say to African-American men that a vote for Donald Trump would be a vote against women, I said, I don't think that's fair. And that's what I said. My point is, whether you agree or disagree, how does the word disparaging come into play? Or to talk about me degrading and denigrating black women? No, I had a difference of opinion about something that they may have said. And that is all but a jerk.
And we are all allowed to have a difference of opinion. You this, you that. Oh my God, Stephen A, you don't love us, and you what? Listen, it's atrocious, y'all. It's atrocious.
Journalistic organization that's its foundation is supposed to be based on objectivity and, most importantly, uplifting African Americans within the journalism industry. Excuse me, what have I accomplished in my career? Where am I sitting at right now? On September 29th, I'm about to be inducted into the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame. I've established myself as one of those people in this industry, but I'm not a Hall of Famer for the NABJ. I brought for my national television show, First Take from ESPN, in concert with ESPN and the great bosses that I have. We brought First Take, a nationally televised show, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on ESPN. We brought it to the NABJ conference. When have you seen a nationally televised show broadcasting live from a journalism convention? I did it the last 2 years in Chicago and Cleveland, respectively, but I don't show up this year. And all of a sudden I receive a thumbs down award. I think it's utterly ridiculous, and I called them on it.
We've had very private, personal conversations that I think we should bring public.
Yeah.
And that is that my faith, my Christian faith, teaches me that God created every man, woman, and child on this earth. God put unique talents in every man, woman, and child on this earth. We give a lot of lip service, people do, to a colorblind society. I guess with extremists, I don't care if they're white nationalist jackasses or anti-Semites or whatever, there are people that never want to get there. You will always be my friend, and you have been my friend.
And again, like in our community or whatnot, it's a civil war. It's like we preach excellence, we preach success, we preach this. And once Stephen A will go off and say, "Hey, I went to Winston-Salem. He talks about his time in the Philadelphia Inquirer, beat writer, this, and he was also laid off at ESPN and came back on, and he talks about Stephen A. I'm not Stephen A. Well, Skip Bayless giving him taking a shot on him, taking a chance on him, and he said those same things. And so even when you think about like Ryan Clark and the things that he had to say or whatnot, and the one thing I would say about Stephen A. Smith does go to bat for a lot of people, but that will end up being his detriment. It will be his downfall, because eventually the very people that you go to bat for, they will end up turning their back on you. I say that again for the people in the back. All of us, and I'm gonna finish this up. Let me get myself in. It eventually, at some point, that's one thing about success. Success eventually brings on disappointment. It's like because you want me to acquiesce over to you, but the moment I start acquiescing over to the group or to the mob or whatnot, becomes a problem. And Stephen A. Smith have worked his ass off. Say what you want to say, but listen, my man he's really earned his spot. He's earned his spot. Folks look at Stephen, why you can't get no money? Bull crap. Why you got people? Because even like now, they still talk about, man, Stephen A. Smith. Man, Stephen A. Smith, like, you gotta remember, there were cats that were doing it before Stephen A. Smith. You gotta, like, Stephen A. works. Stephen A. be in Los Angeles, pull up, still do first take. Stephen A. Smith can be on vacation, pull up on first take. Now, I haven't sat down and watched ESPN first take these days, but I'm just saying, Stephen A. Smith pulls up. Stephen A. Smith be working. And I think the ones that got the loudest and got so much to say are lazy and they're terrible people. But I'm gonna let them continue.
Friend, and you attacked me more than anybody else. So you go at me day and night and day, either on text or on the phone. You don't hold back.
Yes, true.
But we're still friends.
Not at all.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why can't you disagree with some Democrats?
Unfortunately, because you have folks within the liberal community, in the modern liberal community, I'm not talking about traditional Democrats that are relatively moderate. I'm talking about these folks that have really regressed as far as I'm concerned. And their attitude is that you have to parrot their speech, lock, stock, and barrel, or you're absolutely positively against them. Sean, on my show, Straight Shooter with Stephen A., I've had a show on POTUS Radio on Sirius XM channel 124 every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. since September 17th. I've had 60 guests on the show, 30 Republicans, 30 Democrats. I'm a registered independent. I believe in being fair and exercising common sense. There are things that I disagree with about the president and his administration. You know that. There are things that I disagree with the left about. I'm fair and even-handed. That's not good enough. I understand that being the case with most people.
And the only thing I'll say with Stephen A. Smith's politics, he does do a lot of fence riding. He does do that. I think Stephen A. Smith will make a great Republican. I think if Stephen A. Smith go Republican, all hell gonna break loose and be like, oh man. But
in America, if you have your political tilt that you want to lean towards, but that should not be applicable to a journalist organization. The National Association for Black Journalists, it's not the entire organization. It was just a few board members that tried to give the impression the entire organization is against me. There's a whole bunch of people that were at the convention that spoke adamantly and emphatically against their decision to do that and in support of me. But nevertheless, a few board members decided to make this decision. And as far as I'm concerned, they will regret it because I'm not going away. If anything, they've made me more intense. They've made me more adamant about my positions and the manner in which I'm going to go about doing what I do. I don't back up, and nobody's going to intimidate me from being who I am. And that is a fair-minded individual that calls balls and strikes, and it's going to be fair to both sides of the aisle, no matter what the hell they say. I'm not backing up 1 inch. As far as I'm concerned,
that part I know.
All they've done is stirred me up. That's all they've done.
You know,
it's all they've done.
Because I've been on the receiving end of your rants. I have. And the thing is, I always tell you, stick to sports. You tell me stick to politics. When I talk sports, you can't blame Republicans.
Yeah, this is the thing about Stephen A. Once you kind of start dipping into politics, this what happens. One sports star dip, this what happens. That doesn't mean that he can't do it, and because it means Stephen A. Smith is reinventing himself on the fly. He's rebranding himself on the fly, which is wildly smart. The only thing with him is just he endeared himself to a lot of people. That's probably going to be, like I said, Stephen A. Smith is Achilles' heel. He endeared himself to the wrong people, and it's probably going to take him I'm pretty sure he's really hurt inside, but it's really going to take for him to become a supervillain to become that and be like, yeah, y'all did this. But he stepped in the arena, but y'all did this.
Because the WNBA, by the way, can't define what a woman is.
Yes, I can.
Sorry. They dug their... No, you can't.
No. I didn't blame Republicans for the
wrong.
woman thing. I said, y'all, you're politicizing it. You know that it's advantageous for y'all to bring up these subject matters because you're going to have people galvanized over it, and it's going to help you at the voting booth. That's what they're doing.
Excuse me.
I understand the WNBA left the door open, but it's what they're doing.
stand for? The W stands for women.
I agree.
Okay,
That's why I said they left the door open.
And stop. There's no ambiguity here. You sound like six-gender Tellerico now.
You're not, hold it. Don't treat me like I'm one of your socialist guests that didn't want to answer questions over the last 2 weeks. I'm not them. I agree with you about the WNBA, but it doesn't absolve the conservatives of what they're doing with the issue.
Don't blame me that liberals can't six-gender Tellerico.
I am going to blame you.
Tell me what the other four are.
That's my favorite habit to do. I blame you for everything. Why would I not do that?
I don't even know why I like that. Goodbye. I don't like you under attack by other people because they don't know you like I do. All right, Stephen A., thank you. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. And subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hannity and Stephen A. Smith. All right, so let me wrap this up and put a bow on it because I know this is not going to go away. This is not dying down anytime soon. My final thoughts with this is, like I said, Stephen A. Smith, you can't deny his accolades. His acumen is undeniable. Now, him stepping into politics and giving political commentary, that does open you up for a different level of inquiry that otherwise you wouldn't have if it was just doing sports. But Stephen A. Smith is because he talked about on the show, he want to talk about a breadth of subjects and issues that's going around the country and the communities and stuff like that, which I have no problem with. The same thing I do over here at the Night Audit. And for the Night Audit, we might rebrand and be rebranding in the coming future as well as we evolve on these, as my commentary on these issues get a little bit more polished, where I'm not saying I'm not totally oblivious, but some things I'm just not following as much and probably still won't follow as much, probably just give a little bit of highlight. But anyway, yeah, Stephen A. Smith, I think a lot of people blame Stephen A. Smith for why things are, but Stephen A. Smith is a man. Cam Newton had a great take or whatnot. Him and Cam Newton had some words, but Cam Newton, they sat and talked about it. Stephen A. Smith will pull up and talk and have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think the ideal of it is you can have a healthy back and forth and a healthy debate as long as it's productive, as long as people are coming away with some. You may have your sides that you're standing on. I have my sides I'm standing on, but I know where I understand you, you understand me, right? And it don't have to result to fisticuffs and what, because I know it. Stephen A. Smith gets on the mic and talks, so it opens him up. He's a content creator, opens him up, and I know a lot of times, I know a lot of us want, hey man, that's want to have a personal conversation. Some conversations you just gotta have them out in the open. Most of you just have them behind the scenes. But yeah, man, you know, I don't know what's wrong with us. We always look to tear each other's down. Black people are always looking to tear each other's down. When somebody's rising through the ranks, they're working their ass off, they're doing it, they're handling their thing. And the moment they have a difference of opinion, other than the establishment, all hell breaks loose. All the name calling, the name shaming, the man standing behind that woman, Thorne, but behind the scenes, they be rooting for Stephen A. Man, yeah, I'm with you, Stephen A. I can't say you saying the things I want to say, but because your wife got your balls, whatever, and all that, got her head, got your balls like this, and you can be reminded that you are a man and that you are a thinker, you are a leader, and you shouldn't be acquiescing over the people. The only people you should be acquiescing over is God. But that's my little, if that makes sense. That's just my thoughts on it, my short thoughts on it and whatnot. But Stephen A. keep doing his thing, keep rocking. Stephen A. is who he is. He's earned his keep. He's employing people. He's putting people on. So yeah, that would be more. And congratulations on him getting inducted into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. It's a big deal. All right, this concludes this episode of Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaze Barnes. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. As always, audit like before, life audits for you. By the time you all are watching this will be uploaded by tomorrow morning. You all enjoy your Thursday. I will be back here tomorrow night, and I will be dropping an episode for Friday as well. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Peace out.